Pero siguradong hindi ako nagsisinungaling. Why? Because very reliable yung sources ko eh. I've been with the Philippine National Police, I've been with CIDG, and I know how to evaluate my information. At kung reliability lang pag-usapan at credibility, siguro very reliable yung mga information. Kung minsan nga, kinokorek pa nga ako ng mga informant ko na hindi ganon, ganito yan. So talagang ilang beses ko na yan na binalidate. Kaya, alam mo, kung pag-aaralan mo lang yung unang salita ni Congressman Marco na sinasabi niya na wag na lang politikahin, suportahan na lang. Ibig sabihin niyan, totoo, di ba? Saka bigla na lang siya nagsalita uli na hindi totoo yan 777. Well, kulang na lang banggitin ko rito kung sino yung mga informante ko eh. Pero ako na nagsasabi sa'yo, highly reliable yung informant ko. Kaya sabi ko nga dalawa yung nagsisinungaling dito, but definitely hindi ako. 2 degrees.
Mayor, I'm gonna have to cut to the chase here. Matunog na matunog ngayon yung issue ng Ayuda
Yes.
program. And you spoke out against it, right? You could have benefited from it.
Yes, I could.
But you chose to speak against it. Bakit?
Well, it's not the right thing to do. Alam mo, kasi pag pinapaasa mo lang ang mga tao, lagi na lang ayuda, tatama rin na yan. No? At the way it is being administered, mali rin. No? Isipin mo, walang transparency, wala ring accountability. The local government is not even informed kung sino yung mga binibigyan. And I've heard from some other mayors as well, because we have a group of mayors who believes in good governance. They have been reporting na the SWD, because they were given instructions by congressmen na they will not share their database with the local government unit. Alam mo kasi ang local government unit, meron kami sistema eh. May sistema talaga na itinuro ang DSWD mismo na how to really identify yung mga qualified beneficiaries ng mga AICS and AKAP programs. Pati na rin yung mga TUPAD programs. Dapat yan merong defined na parameters. Pero dito walang sharing of database. Nagkakaroon ng redundancy.
What does that tell you? Kung walang sharing ng database?
Isa lang yon. May tinatago sila kung sino yung mga beneficiaries nila. And I learned, nakita ko rin yung mga ebidensya na pinakita sa akin ng ibang mayors na may mga nabigyan ng mga barangay officials, nabigyan ng mga nasa DepEd, nabigyan din sa mga media. So, ibig sabihin, they were not qualified. Instead, most likely, these are supporters of politicians. Paulit-ulit na nabibigyan. Kaya ayaw nilang ipakita. Kasi paulit-ulit na nabibigyan. Kaya nakakalungkot isipin na ganun pala yun.
But the fact remains, Mayor, that a lot of our people need help.
Yes.
And for some, it's just that one break, one lifeline can make all the difference. Pero kapag boto naman at utang na loob ang kapalit, anong mangyayari? Pwede ka bang magbigay ng tulong na hindi boto or utang na loob ang kapalit?
That is precisely what is happening, Carmina. Pagbigay, gusto nilang ipaalam sa tao na ako ang nagbigay niyan. Galing sa akin yung pera, kaya ang utang na loob mo sa akin. Yun ang gusto nilang i-insinuate sa tao. Instead of telling the people na, this money, you don't even have to thank me. Kasi this money actually came from you. These are the taxes that you've been paying and we're just returning it back. So you don't have to thank us. Instead, you should thank the person behind you, beside you, and tell them, thank you for paying your taxes. But they're not doing it. That's the way we do it, Carmina, sa local government. Sa akin, sa Baguio, that's the way I do it. Pero sila, hindi. Gusto nila, sila yung nagbibigay ng pera. Hawak-hawak na yung pera, bibigay nila yan. Utang na loob mo, parang utang na loob mo sa kanila. At ang masama pa, siguraduhin nila na kukunin nila yung dalawa. Aside from yung nag-fill up ka na ng form, merong two important na information na gusto nilang makita sa bawat nabibigyan nila. Full name mo, and of course, your cell phone number.
Tapos,
At yun na yun. Yun yung mga text brigade na yun. Text brigade na nila yun. No? Tapos, anong guarantee na nasusunod talaga yung proseso na dapat ang isang beneficiary, dapat every 3 months, kung sakasakali man, nagkakadoble-doble nga, di ba? Tapos, kung sabay-sabay pa na nag-release ng AKAP, MAIP, o kaya AKAP at TUPAD at AIX, namomblema yung mga agencies kasi baka magdoble-doble. So, nagkakaroon pa sila ng interagency meeting. Kinakwento mismo sa akin to, na mga personnel from the agencies, na national agencies of government na, sir, kailan mag-usap-usap kami kasi magno-doble sir yun sa amin kasi sobra-sobra sir na dumating ang suporta. Ganun ang nangyayari. And one particular individual, staff, even mentioned to me na allegedly, sabihin sa kanila is, basta ang listahan galing dun sa congressman, no question asked na yan. Silent na lang kayo dyan.
what's wrong with that?
Ito, completely wrong. Ibig sabihin, walang transparency. Bakit ayaw? Bakit silent?
But
Allegedly.
Mayor, you're on your second term,
Yes,
right? As City Mayor of Baguio. Ito ba yung kauna-unahang pagkakataon na ganito yung nangyari? Na biglang nawala ng transparency, biglang dumadaan lahat sa politiko. Is this the first time that it's happening or it's been happening for a while?
Well, during the time of President Duterte, meron naman. Pero there's transparency. Hindi kami namamblema na makipag-confer sa mga agencies like the SWD kung baka na-doble na. So there are exchanges of data. Pero ngayon lang kami na nagulat ako Nawala talaga At kinonfront ko rin yung DSWD. Ang sinabi sa akin, Privacy Act daw. It might be a violation of Privacy Act. This is also one of the issues that I raised with Secretary Rex.
Wait a minute. Violation of data privacy, pero constituents niya yun
Precisely. Kaya hindi ko nga makuha yung reason nila na it's a violation of the Privacy Act. And hindi ko, I don't really understand where is the violation there. Ang intention lang naman namin is wag lang magdoble, wala lang redundancy. Pero for some reason, yun ang pinaka-convenient na convenient na reason nila. And this is also a matter that I've already referred to the no less than Secretary Rex. At binanggit nga niya sa akin na it's a privacy issue. So, hindi ko na lang question kasi alam mo naman na pressure din si Secretary Rex. Alam mo si Secretary Rex talagang probably one of the best secretaries siya na nakita ko rin. Pero nakatali rin siguro yung kamay niya kaya hindi rin siya gaano makapag-decision na maayos.
Ikaw, Mayor, you've never come across as someone na nakatali, nakaipit. Of course, may mga question before, pero parang you would always speak your mind out. You would always say what you want to say. Recently, may sinabi ka. Sabi mo si Speaker Martin Romualdez, in so many words, nagpapamudmud ng pera nagaling sa pondo for social programs, for aid programs.
Yes.
No? Sabi naman ni Congressman Mark Go, hindi totoo yung mga sinasabi mo. So my question is, why should we believe you and not Congressman Mark Go?
Alam mo, may nagsisinungaling dito. Pero siguradong hindi ako nagsisinungaling. Why? Because very reliable yung sources ko I've been with the Philippine National Police, I've been with CIDG, and I know how to evaluate my information. At kung reliability lang pag-usapan at credibility, siguro very reliable yung mga information. Kung minsan nga kinokorek pa nga ako ng mga informant ko na hindi ganon, ganito yan. So talagang ilang beses ko na yan na binalidate. Kaya alam mo, kung pag-aaralan mo lang yung unang salita ni Congressman Marco na sinasabi niya na wag na lang politikahin. suportahan na lang. Ibig sabihin yan, totoo, di ba? Saka bigla na lang siya nagsalita uli na hindi totoo yan 777. Well, kulang na lang banggitin ko rito kung sino yung mga informante ko eh. Pero ako na nagsasabi sa'yo, highly reliable yung informant ko. Kaya sabi ko nga eh, dalawa yung nagsisinungaling dito, but definitely hindi ako.
Siguro sabihin ng iba, anong mali doon? Anong mali na dumadaan ang pondo sa politiko? Anong mali doon na nagpapamudmud ng pera di umano si speaker sa mga sorties, nagbibigay sa mga kongresista? What's wrong with that?
Unang-una, ganun na lang ba kadali ang pag-disburse ng pera na ang decision ay nanggagaling lang sa yung process of disbursement? Hindi ba merong defined na process flow yan? Hindi yung kung ano yung gusto ng speaker, kaya na niya kagad ibigay. Diba? Kung kami nga sa local government, bago namin disperse, kailangan dumaan sa isang proseso na very tedious. Sila, pwede ba yung I want this, I want that, patapos implement mo kagad? Pangalawa, bakit hindi sila transparent? Diba? Bakit hindi sila transparent? What are they hiding? Another is, alam mo, saan nanggagaling yung pondo? Saan nila kinukuha yung pondo? Why is it that many are silent?
Ikaw lang ang nagsasalita, Mayor. Ikaw lang ang nagsasabi na ganito nga ang patakaran. Why are they silent at ikaw hindi?
Alam mo, minsan pag nakakausap ko yung mga ibang mayors, na minsan nakakatanggap din ng AIX, TUPAD, MAIP sa iba't ibang mga lawmakers. Katulad ko, nakakatanggap din ako sa senator. Ako nakakatanggap. Nakakahingi ako doon. Minsan, nakikiusap talaga ako kasi kailangan namin. Yeah. Alam mo, baka mawalan sila ng tubig sa gripo nila. Kaya takot din sila magsalita. No? At naintindihan ko naman sila. Second is, siguro hindi rin sila sanay na makipag-away. Kaya ako naman, nasanay na sa mga conflict. Kaya, ako na lang ang pinapakiusapan nilang, Mayor, ikaw na lang magsalita. Huwag na lang muna kami. Kasi kawawa lang kami. At least ikaw, marami kang suporta. Lalo-lalo na sa uniform service, sabi sa akin. Kaya malakas ang loob ko magsalita. Pero hindi ibig sabihin yan na natatakot. Hindi ako natatakot sa sarili ko, kaya sa security ko, sa safety ko. Siguro not much for myself, for my safety, but for the safety of my family. Kasi kung may plano silang gawin sa akin, paano kung kasama ko yung pamilya ko sa loob ng sasakyan?
May ganun ba? May banta pa?
Ako, yung ganitong mga issues kasi talagang very sensitive. Kung naramdaman ko nga ito nung panahon na nagsalita ako laban sa isang chief PNP, incumbent chief PNP. Tapos yung laban ko rin sa mga, when I revealed about the drug business, wherein yung mga drug lords nakakulong na nga, bakit sila pa rin nagmamanage? Nararamdaman ko pa rin na kayang-kaya pa rin nila akong gawan ng saktan.
But despite the risk, why is it worth it?
Well, someone has to speak up.
But are you trying to be a hero? Are you trying to be a martyr here?
No, hindi naman ganon. Pero if we're not going to speak up and speak out, if we remain silent about this, what's going to happen 10 years, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, Carmina? Our young people will be suffering. You saw my grandkids. I don't want them to be suffering 5 years, 10 years from now. I want to leave a legacy, a noble legacy for them to be able to make sure that their future is they have a bright future, a good future for them. But if we're not going to do anything about it, I'm now in a position to influence, to do something about it. Pero if I just simply be silent, then 10 years from now, here comes people, my kids telling me, Dad, you did not do anything about it. You have that chance, but wala kang ginawa. Why? I don't want to be explaining that to them and to our young people.
Ngayon po, Mayor, ang pinag-uusapan natin, aid programs, di ba? But you also spoke against the corruption in infrastructure. Diba?
Yes.
Nagsalita ka rin tungkol doon. Pag-usapan natin yung infrastructure dito sa Pilipinas.
You're well-researched.
Gaano kalala ang sitwasyon?
Well, alam mo, I'm sorry, Secretary Babes, but I have to quote you. Si Secretary Babes, sabi niya sa akin, alam mo, Mayor Benji, my budget when I was DPWH Secretary was just 400 million. And siguro nakita mo kung how much yung quality and the quantity of infrastructure that we have done during the administration of President Pinoy. And sabi ko, nga sir, nagulat nga sir ako na 400 million lang eh. Pero I just would like to, reveal to you something, sabi niya. Nilimit ko na lang na 10%. Diyan na lang sila. Hindi ko mapipigilan yan, pero 10% na lang sila. Hanggang 10% na lang sila.
Ano ibig sabihin? Yung patong?
Patong nila. 10% lang. Paalan na sila doon, sabi niya. Pero ngayon, wala na. Lumipad na yan eh. Wala na 10%. Nasa 25, 30, 40. Depende kung anong klaseng project. Kung flood control, road opening. Kasi may certain dynamics yan eh. Carmina, I really wish I could explain this to you, but later on siguro after this. Certain projects na talagang ang exorbitant talaga yung unit price analysis niyan.
But Mayor, are we only talking about more money going into their pockets, or is there something more here, something more sinister na maaring mangyari na buhay na ng tao ang nakasalalay dito? Well,
alam mo kung, ang tanong ko nga sa contractor is, kung ganyan pala kalaki and only 30% or 35% really gets into the project, anong ginagawa nyo? Alangan naman 10% lang ang inyong profit. Kasi yung 10% yun, hindi nyo pa makukuha yan. After 1 year nyo pa kukuha dahil mayroon pang retention yan eh. 10% eh. Anong gagawin nyo? Substandard, sir. Ay, paano kung substandard yung bridge? Paano kung substandard yung kalsada, patas bumagsak yung kalsada? Hindi maayos ang pagkakagawa. Di ba? Buhay ng tao at sa stake dyan. Alam mo, nagulat din ako na it's hindi lang sila may porsyento. Sila na rin alam mo ba na ang joke nga dyan is nawala na raw yung SOP. Akala mo good news eh. Wala nang SOP ngayon sa mga infrastructure projects. Alam mo ba bakit?
Bakit?
Si mismo yung mga politiko na yung contractor at supplier. So, ibig sabihin, meron na nga silang porsyento. Sila pa yung contractor. Sila pa yung supplier. Ito na triple whammy na.
Bakit nagkaganon, Mayor? Like, what was the trigger? What was the key to opening the floodgates?
Alam mo kasi, people were silent. Nobody is talking about it. So, that actually emboldened them na, alam mo, man's desire, sabi nga nila, man's desire is insatiable. Diba? Walang katapusan ang greed. Kaya, walang nagsasalita. Okay sa amin, good environment. So, sabi na, tuloy-tuloy lang natin, pwede natin pagkakitaan pa uli. Gawin na natin na instead na may porsyento tayo, pwede pa pala tayo maging contractor, pwede pa tayong supplier, gano'n na lang.
What was the worst thing that you've ever seen, Mayor, kung paano na-normalize ang kultura ng korupsyon dito sa Pilipinas?
The worst thing is, alam mo, ang pinaka-the worst niyan is, yung politician is, siya na yung, lumalabas na yung corruption, pero people still idolize him. Mabuti pa siya. Namimigay siya. In many places in our country today, money talks. You know, people with more money, candidates with more money will likely win in the election.
I can't seem to make sense of it, Mayor. Na yung mga kwento mo, ang dating sa akin, daming pera. Ang daming perang umiikot. And yet the self-rated involuntary hunger, it's on the rise. So how do you make sense of that? Na yung nakikita mo na normalize yung korupsyon, na normalize yung flow of money, pero alam mong maraming nagugutom sa bansa mo.
I completely agree with you. Sometimes it doesn't make sense, but if you look at the scientific study, there's always a direct correlation between poverty and corruption. And then when you talk about corruption, isn't that also a violation of human rights? Because you're depriving people of their basic needs, di ba? Medicine, ninakaw mo. Pinatungan mo ng napakalaki yung value ng yung cost ng medicine. Diniprive mo yung iba ng ganitong mga medisina kasi nga, ninakaw mo. Alam mo ba yung MAIP? Akala mo yung MAIP nakalagay, yung MAIP, isang paborito yan ng mga politiko rin.
Talaga?
Oo. Akala mo walang kwanton, walang corruption doon. Kasi it's medical assistance to indigenous patient. Ibig sabihin, yung pera, ipapark na yan, ilalagay na lang yan sa Department of Health sa isang hospital.
Yeah.
Tapos, guarantee letter na lang every time. Pero alam mo ba kung saan ang corruption doon? Yung MAIP, i-convert nila into medical mission. Hahanap sila ng isang third party. Tapos yung third party ang magkakandak ng medical mission, i-jack up niya yung presyo ng gamot, i-jack up niya yung presyo ng services. Pagkatapos ng medical mission, may rebate pa yung politiko.
Yun pa hindi ko maintindihan. Pera na ng taong bayan yan, Mayor. Tulong na yan ng gobyerno sa taong bayan. Bakit kailangan pa dumaan sa politiko? Bakit kailangan pang sila pa ang magbigay?
Ang tanungin siguro natin bago ko sagutin yan, ano ba yung trabaho nila? Ano ba talaga ang trabaho nila? I'm not saying na puro congressman. Marami ring governors, marami ring mayors gumagawa ng ganyang kalokohan. Pero mas pronounced sa kanila because of the huge amount that's actually involved. Ano ba trabaho nila? Legislation.
Yeah.
Pero pagdating sa pera, ang bilis-bilis nila. Bakit nandun sila sa infrastruktura? For infrastructure, for example, DPWH. Sino ba sa tingin mo ang namimili ng mga district engineers at regional director ng DPWH? Sino? Your guess is as good as mine. Sino usually ang namimili nagre-recommend kung sino magiging DSWD? Isa rin yan. Sino ang namimili rin ng mga director ng hospital? Sino rin ang namimili ng kanilang mga regional director ng Department of Health? Sino rin ang namimili ng mga DOLE na regional director? Basta yung mga lugar, mga ahensya na meron silang parking, may pork barrel sila. Ang laki ng influence nila sa pamimili ng mga heads niyan.
And it all boils down to the next electoral victory.
Yes.
Yun talaga ang punto.
Yeah, it's all about winning the next election. Isa rin yan sa objective nila, no? More money to be given away, the better for them. And making people think that we're giving you my money. We're giving you my money. Yun ang gusto nila insinuate. Alam mo ba na halos ang LGU hindi nakakatanggap ng scholarship dyan sa CHESA? Sino ba nakakaalam kung anong sitwasyon sa local situation, di ba? Local government, di ba? Pati yung CHED, yung scholarship ng CHED. Di ba dapat kami rin ang dapat makinabang doon, di ba? Local government kasi may sistema kami. Hindi, kinuha na rin nila lahat yan.
Ngayon lang or dati pa? How many
mas
years
pronounced
ago?
ngayon kasi dati-rati may nakukuha naman akong mga sinasabihan ako ng CHESA na meron kayong scholarship Pero ngayon wala na. Sa CHED talagang wala kami nakukuha ng scholarship.
Baka ikaw lang dahil ikaw ang nagsasalita.
No. We confer with the other mayors.
When you talk about Mayor Magalong being an outsider, it actually started as well during Mama Sapano sa 44. When you headed the BOI, the Board of Inquiry, and the results of that investigation led to the filing of charges, which included former President Noynoy Aquino. Right now, Mayor, as we speak, do you still consider yourself as an outsider, and why are you comfortable being an outsider?
Siguro I feel more comfortable because I can speak my mind. Once you get into the become a member, become an ally, hesitant ka na magsalita Kumbaga, parang isang kamay mo natalian na.
How do you distinguish? How do you discern Ito bang taong ito ay gagawin kong kaalyado or hindi ko papalapitin itong taong ito sa aking pamilya, sa aking sarili? What's your point of discernment?
It's all about the definition of what is right. Some people would say right is something relative. Kung what is right to you might not be right to me. But from a personal perspective, I would say right is something absolute. Kasi nga, you have all these parameters. Diba? You have laws. You can always refer to the laws, ordinances, policies, regulations, rules. Meron naman tayong code of conduct and ethical standards, which is actually very strict, very pronounced sa private sector. Meron din tayong, di ba, yung mga justices nga, they will always ask themselves when they decide, is it for the greater good? Kung nagdududa ka pa rito sa apat na ito na parameters mo, then all you have to do is, drill down on your spiritual foundation and ask yourself, is this aligned with the teaching of God?
So, Mayor, I speak to you now as Mayor of Baguio, but you spent most of your life being part of the institution you so love.
Yeah.
Sa dami ng kontrobersyang nakapaligid ngayon sa Philippine National Police, the reputation is in tatters, and that is an understatement. Do you still recognize the force that you so love?
Alam mo, every time I meet with uniformed personnel, I feel so comfortable being with people of my own kind. Alam mo kasi yung transformation journey ng Philippine National Police, it's a rough journey. It will always be ups and downs, up and down. I've been the transformation head of the PNP for 2 years. So nakita ko yan na ganun talagang transformation And it's something very strategic. You cannot do it in a matter of 5 years, 10 years. It's beyond administration.
Nasasaktan ka ba sa mga lumalabas ngayon?
Kung minsan, nasasaktan ako na bakit ganito na yung mga pulis. Lalo na pag ina-atake yung mga pulis, nasasaktan ako. So, ina-explain ko sa kanila, ano ba yung sitwasyon? Because I know there are a lot of good policemen. We have more policemen, for that matter, that have good intentions. Kaya lang, nasisira lang ng mga may mga bad eggs.
So when it was said that there is a grand conspiracy to conceal a criminal enterprise within the PNP, ikaw ba ay may pagtanggap na totoo naman talaga itong nangyayari o may galit din kung bakit humantong sa ganito?
Well, alam mo, nakikita ko yan lalo na nung pag-imbestiga namin doon sa, di ba, we were part of the 5-man committee that evaluated yung resignation and we saw the flaws. Nakita rin namin yung indiscretions ng many of our senior officers, especially generals, especially their judgment call. Kung ganito yung sitwasyon, minsan mali-mali yung desisyon. But, alam mo, Carmina, the way I see it is, it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. It is the leader that actually, to me, it is the leader that influences the behavior and the mindset of the people in the organization.
So when it was Duterte at the helm, and when he emboldened the police officers, and when all these abuses on human rights happened, do you attribute that to Duterte?
Well, very strong kasi ang personality ni President Duterte noon. And during that time din kasi parang hopeless na rin ang situation na you file a case, tapos madi-dismiss lang. Alam mo na itong tao na to involved sa drugs, tapos malalaman mo, magugulat ka lang na na-dismiss. Paano na-dismiss? Because of this, frustrations, then you end up looking for a quick solution, but only to find out from a strategic standpoint, hindi na rin tama kasi it's not actually sustainable. And at the same time, later on, magkakaroon ng backlash. And that's precisely what happened. Nalaman yung mga ibang katotohanan na mali-mali yung execution, mali-mali yung mga reports. talagang merong mga intentional na mga ginawang pagpatay. Meron ding mga listing of government certain people na nilagay sa watch list na hindi naman dapat nilagay because of political rivalry. So ang dami rin, na-abuse rin, and that's the reason why nakakalungkot na nangyari yun. Pero part of history is something we have to learn from it.
Nagamit ba ang PNP?
Nagamit.
Nagamit under Duterte's watch?
Yes, admittedly nagamit. Alam ko naman yung intention ng ating presidente noon. Malinis ang kanyang intention, pero unfortunately during the execution, talagang ang daming mali.
Mayor, parang klarong-klaro na you're very deliberate when it comes to giving your support to people you think that you can trust and stand with, shoulder to shoulder. Pero yung pagsuporta niyo po kay Pangulong Duterte, meron bang pag-aalinlangan or meron bang regrets na sinuportahan niyo siya?
Never. I don't regret supporting him. I had the chance to work with him closely when I was head of CIDG. Ilang operations kami sa Davao noon. And he was very supportive. He was very genuine. When I became mayor, very genuine din yung the way he deals with me. Wala akong nakitang pretension sa kanya.
But then when you put that side by side with the deaths that happened, mga kababayan po natin.
Oo nga, nakakalungkot din. Nakakalungkot din na, alam mo kasi, ang presidente, syempre, strategic, strategic guidance lang yun sa kanya. What? Pero yung how, nasa nasa implementing agencies Ang nangyari, during the implementation na execution na, wala na, mali-mali na. Ang dami ng mali-mali Ang dami ng mga flaws sa operations. Nakita ko yun in fact, I was the head of the oversight ng anti-drug campaign, yung Tokang. I was the head of the oversight committee, and during our meetings or command yung tinatawag nating paano ba tawag namin doon, command conference.
Conference, yeah.
Lagi kong binabanggit yan.
Sinasabi mo na?
Ay, oo. Talagang sinisita ko yung mga general. Binabanggit ko sa kanila, ito, yung mga findings namin. Sinasabi ko na. Naman, nagagalit din naman si Kwan. Pag sinasabihan ko na marespeto sa akin si Ronald si Shanship PNP. Talagang nakikita niya kung pinapagalitan ko yung ibang mga general doon Sabi niya, talagang sinusuporta niya. At nagbibigay din siya ng guideline. Nagagalit din si Ronald, nakikita ko rin, pinapagalitan niya. Pero siyempre, nahihiya rin siyang talagang maging too aggressive kasi nandun kami na upper class niya na staff niya, members of the command group. Pero genuine naman nakikita ko kay Ronald, kilala ko yan si Ronald. Very close yan sa akin.
Mayor, I have to ask you though, sa lahat ng mga binanggit niyong mga anomalies, mga anomalya, you speaking out, you speaking your mind out, how do we know for sure that this is the truth and that this is not part of your own personal political ambition?
Look at my track record. In the past, when I did my investigation, despite the fact that there are strong pressures, for example, yung 1,000 rifles na AK-47, the loss of the AK-47 that ended up in the hands of the New People's Army, many of those were actually my upperclassmen sa PMA, di ba? Generals and full colonels. But still, I filed cases against them. Some of them were even dismissed. Masakit man sa akin, pero I have to really do my job and at the same time, seek out the truth. Same thing with yung nangyari sa Bucor. I have to speak and tell the truth. Noong 2005, I was really very popular because I led the assaults Bikutan Siege. But then there was a time that I have to choose between my career and doing something good for my country. And because we were facing then a very questionable na administration, So I joined a rebellion, you know, and I gave up. I have a very good career then, pero I gave up that
This is
career
during
and I
the
was
time-
jailed. Di ba?
This is during the time of former President Gloria
Yeah,
Macapagal
so
Arroyo.
2006, we were jailed, fighting for what is right and upholding our principles. Same thing with Mama Sapano. Diba? I had the chance to, you know, I that's an opportunity for me to get the highest position in the Philippine National Police. I have a good chance of getting it. Pero my mandate was to seek out the truth, and I have to deliver that. I delivered that, you know. Sacrifice my ambitions, my career. So, in this itong current na contemporary issue natin on corruption, hindi ako nagbago. Nandun pa rin yung aking moral compass eh. Fighting for what is right. And I'm not going to give up.
Mayor, just as a final question, sa lahat po ng mga ibinunyag nyo ngayong araw, the many ugly faces of corruption and the many ills of this nation, yung mga napag-usapan natin, pag tinanong po kayo, Mayor, saan ba patungo ang bayan na ito? Anong sagot ninyo?
Things are very uncertain for me. Sa ngayon, the way I see it, there's so much unpredictability. I remember one businessman telling me na, tinanong ko is, sir, what is the prognosis? Sabi niya, alam mo, para tayong barko na naka-harbor lang. Palutang-lutang lang sa harbor. Kumbaga, yun lang. Yung during good weather, ayaw naman umalis. Para siguro, magman lang, kunin lang yung 6 kilometers per hour, 6 miles per hour na throttle. Ayaw. Doon lang, gusto lang comfortably, nandun na palutang-lutang lang. Hindi tayo maasenso. And that's precisely what is happening. But, you know, I think the president can still do something about it. Time is, we're running out of time, pero 3 years, siguro kaya pang i-turn around ng ating presidente ngayon. If kalimutan muna niya siguro maging mabait siya. At instead, sometimes a father has to discipline his children and use the whip. So, slightly optimistic ako kung gano'n ang mangyayari. Pero more siguro ako sa I'm more inclined na just watch muna, observe and watch. Tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari.